Hey there, welcome to this journey of self-improvement and personal growth. Are you someone with big dreams and ambitions, but you often find yourself stuck in a loop of procrastination and laziness? You're not alone. Many of us have grand visions for our future, yet struggle to take the necessary steps to make them a reality. It's a common issue. You sit down to work on your goals, but instead you find yourself scrolling through social media or binge watching your favorite shows. The frustration builds up, and you wonder why it's so hard to stay focused. Every year, millions of us start with high motivation, only to fall back into the same old habits. We set New Year's resolutions, join gyms, or start new projects, only to abandon them a few weeks later. But why does this happen? Let's talk about inertia. It's not just a concept in physics, it applies to our daily lives as well. In physics, inertia is the resistance to change in motion. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force. And guess what? Our minds work the same way. When we're at rest, it's challenging to get moving. But once we start, it's easier to keep going. Starting a new task feels hard because our brains resist the initial push of energy it takes to get moving. This resistance can make even the simplest tasks seem daunting. Instead, we seek easier dopamine-inducing distractions. Our brains crave the instant gratification that comes from checking our phones or watching TV. But don't worry, there's a way to beat this. Introducing the 2-minute rule. This simple yet powerful technique can help you overcome inertia and get started on your tasks. The idea here is to reduce the stakes. Instead of committing to a massive task like writing a 5,000-word essay, start with something tiny. Just write 50 words. The goal is to make the task so small that it feels manageable. Instead of committing to a massive task like writing a 5,000-word essay, start with something tiny. Just write 50 words. The goal is to make the task so small that it feels manageable. This way you trick your brain into starting without feeling overwhelmed. Or even better, commit to doing the task for just 2 minutes. Set a timer and tell yourself that you only need to work for those 2 minutes. Often this small step is enough to overcome inertia and keep you going. Once you start, you'll find it easier to continue. And before you know it, you've made significant progress. Once you overcome that initial inertia, it's like shifting from an uphill battle to a downhill roll. The momentum builds, and tasks that once seemed insurmountable become much more manageable. You start to build momentum, and suddenly what seemed like a daunting task becomes much easier. This momentum can carry you through even the most challenging projects. This principle can apply to anything in your life: fitness, side hustles, relationships, you name it. Whether you're trying to get in shape, start a new business, or improve your personal relationships, the 2-minute rule can help. Remember, the key is to take that first small step. Don't let the size of the task intimidate you. Break it down into manageable pieces and start with the smallest one. Don't worry about seeing the whole staircase. Focus on the step right in front of you. Each small step you take brings you closer to your goal. As Martin Luther King Jr. wisely said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. This quote beautifully encapsulates the essence of overcoming procrastination. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed by a big dream or goal, remember the 2-minute rule. Start small, build momentum, and watch